Welcome to Random Movie Reviews. I'm Nathan, and today I'll be talking about Sleepy Hollow. Well, my friends, it's that time of the year, Spooktober, where we get to watch our favorite spooky Halloween movies to get us in the spirit, to get us in that creepy autumn vibe. And there is a film in particular that gets me in that vibe, and it has become a tradition in the past couple of years that Tim Burton's Sleepy Hollow is my official kickoff Spooktober film. It's the movie that I want to watch October 1st, and it gets me in the mood to watch a bunch of other creepy movies. And I just love this film, and I'm going to get into all of that stuff. But before I do that, let's talk a little bit about Tim Burton. I've come to the realization the past couple of years that Tim Burton has made some of my all-time favorite movies. Pee-wee's Big Adventure, his Batman movies, which I absolutely love, Batman and Batman Returns, Beetlejuice, obviously, which I already watched a few weeks ago to kind of pregame for Spooktober. And then my all-time favorite Tim Burton movie is Ed Wood, and I would love to do a video on Ed Wood in the future. I just think that movie is an amazing love letter to filmmaking, and it's so lovely and awesome. But then we got to get to Sleepy Hollow, which is definitely one of his best movies, his best horror movie, and kind of like the only horror movie he's done that's like full-on horror. I mean, obviously he did Sweeney Todd, but that's a horror musical. And then Beetlejuice is, horror, comedy, fun, goofiness. Sleepy Hollow is the only movie he's done where it's like full-on horror, but you can see how horror has influenced the majority of Tim Burton's work. There's always that element of weird gothic energy in a lot of his movies, which is why I really like it. He really fell off for me in the later part of his career. You know, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, one of the worst remakes ever. His Alice in Wonderland movies are atrocious. I haven't even bothered with Dumbo. I think I saw part of Dark Shadows, but I got bored and turned it off. And then, Beetlejuice just came out, and I'm waiting for that one to go to streaming. I think we can all agree that early Tim Burton is the best, and Sleepy Hollow definitely stands as one of his finest works. So let's get into it. So, of course, this film is an adaptation of Washington Irving's short story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And the short story, I know a little bit about. I remember like reading it in school or something like that. I remember hearing about it, and I don't remember much about it, so I kind of did a brief overview. And the movie differs quite a bit from the short story, to the film's benefit, because if this movie was a legitimate adaptation or like a direct adaptation of the short story, it would be like a 20-minute film. It's very short. So elements that are added into Tim Burton's film is the whole mystery aspect of Sleepy Hollow. Who's controlling the Headless Horseman? What is their motivation? It revolves around a very wealthy family, and whenever murders happen around wealthy families, the question is who benefits from that? Who's going to get all the wealth? Who's going to get all the power? Who benefits from the murders? So those are all elements that are added to Sleepy Hollow that aren't from the short story, and that just makes the movie that much more entertaining. Our lead character is Ichabod Crane, played wonderfully by Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's performance in this, it's fantastic. It's very funny. Sleepy Hollow has a lot of humor in it, but it never gets too comical. It takes itself seriously just enough. The movie rides that line so well between being genuinely creepy and suspenseful while also being campy. And it never leans too far into either side. It just right on the line. And that's one of the reasons why this movie's so rewatchable to me. It's just fun. And Johnny Depp's performance is a big aspect to that. He has a lot of great facial expressions in this movie. Ichabod Crane is a man of science. He's a man who is determined to show the benefits of science in a society where, religion and superstition is very prevalent, and he doesn't really believe in those things. He also has a traumatic past dealing with religion, how it ended up killing his mother in a very brutal way. That's the other thing about Sleepy Hollow is like there's a lot of fun, and there's also like some lighthearted elements in the movie, but when the movie decides to go full horror, it goes full horror. I mean, the amount of heads that are decapitated in this movie are a lot, and they're all awesome. Not to mention, there's just certain standout scenes that are genuinely creepy. The scene where Ichabod Crane has to go visit the witch in the forest. I mean, that scene is super creepy, and I love it. There's the scene where the Headless Horseman kills that family, probably like the most genuinely upsetting scene in the movie. Like, that's such a horrible thought. And then the little kid sees the head of his decapitated mother on the floorboards. Oh, it's genuinely creepy. And then that goes right into the next scene of an awesome epic sword fight where Casper Van Dien from Starship Troopers, he gets straight up sliced in half. There's a lot of action in Sleepy Hollow 2. A lot of sword fights. There's numerous chases, horseback chases in this movie, all of which are awesome. But of course, the shining star of this film is the look and the vibe. For my money, there is no better horror movie that shows the gothic beauty of the season of autumn. It is the best fall horror movie ever. I challenge anyone to find me another horror movie that uses autumn as effectively and beautifully. It's like the season of autumn isn't just like the setting that this movie takes place in. It's a character. It gives the movie a sense of life. It is so beautiful. The shots of the trees with the fallen leaves and the fog and the gray skies. And it's, I'm from the Northwest. I know a lot of people think autumn and fall is kind of a depressing time of year. I love it. I find it cozy. And that's one of the main reasons why I end up rewatching this movie on the 1st of October, because fall is here. And it just reminds me of how much I love the beautiful season. And it's cozy. There's a cozy factor to Sleepy Hollow, outside of the fact that the movie is just straight up entertaining from beginning to end. And it gives you a little bit of everything. There's humor. There's genuinely creepy and unsettling imagery. There's a lot of gore. It's a gory movie, which is awesome. Head decapitations. There's quite a bit of action in the movie. We have several scenes of sword fighting and chase sequences. And there's even some romance. There's the romance between Johnny Depp's character and Christina Ricci, which is great. We get some very beautiful, dreamlike sequences when we learn about Johnny Depp's past and him being a child and his mother and the trauma he went through because of that. And the movie has an overall almost like ethereal presence, and it's just awesome. I absolutely love it, and it's a movie that I look forward to every year. It's the go-to kickoff movie for Spooktober, and I wish there were more movies like it. There isn't a whole lot of movies that kind of encapsulate the gothic vibe with the autumn vibe, and also gives you the outlandish, gory moments. And I think one of the other movies that you can compare to it is Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula. Which is a movie that I'm also a big fan of and might do a review of this month. So we'll see. But anyway, yeah, that's my thoughts on Sleepy Hollow. I absolutely love this movie. It's one of my favorite Tim Burton movies. What are your guys' thoughts? Do you love this movie? Do you think it's the best fall horror movie? And I'm always looking for recommendations in terms of horror movies that utilize the season of fall the best. So please list suggestions down below of your favorite fall horror movies. And as always, thank you guys for watching.